Gane versus Ngannou, we're still a couple months away, and we're not going to have any fun with this. We're not going to have any fun with Francis and Cyril until Poirier and Oliveira get done. But that next day, it could even be that night, the media for this is going to roll out, and I'm so curious. I think this could be the biggest fight of all time. When I say that, guys, there's some things I'm not counting. I'm not counting UFC 100. I'm not counting Conor versus Khabib, right? Just because those are outliers. I'm talking if you look at a good, solid, mean average, this could be the biggest fight of all time. The two heavyweight champions are going to collide. This was tested one other time. Brock Lesnar, megastar, took on Shane Carwin when Shane had the interim belt. It just works. This story just works, and people are starting to pick Cyril. One after the next are starting to lean towards Gane. Francis needs that. Francis should never see that and have his feelings hurt, ever. That helps Francis. Francis is so scary. He's so intimidating. He's so big. He's so strong. He's so successful. You got to have that. And there's not very many people you can get that with. If you took Cyril Gane out of this equation, whatever Francis does next is going to be a main event. It's going to be a good night of business. It's not going to be, arguably, and I'm arguing right now, we'll know within 60 days, biggest night ever. It's not. You must have the right opponent. You cannot do it on your own. Cyril Gane is that perfect opponent, but one of the things that's adding to the mystique of Cyril Gane is he's having people vouch for him. In this case, Fabricio Werdum. Everybody has their opinion, right? Everybody has their right to opinion. Some guys earned that right. Very different opinion. Fabricio Werdum has earned the opinion within the heavyweight class of which, for a period of time, he was king. And he's saying Cyril. And Werdum gave a very good breakdown. He didn't just go, I'm leaning towards Gane. He broke it down. He broke down that wrestling's probably not going to happen. And even if one guy gets on top of the other, they're not a meaningful threat over the other one. And this is largely going to be contested on the feet. I think we can all agree to that. I think we can all at least go, okay, I see it the same way as you do. But then Werdum started to break down how Gane was going to do it. The ins and outs, how he controls distance, what his setups are, a couple of his different combinations where he can score points. Ultimately, if you're just curious what Werdum said, Werdum believes that Cyril is going to win, but that he's going to have to go the distance. Okay. But a lot of people are saying that. That is so helpful to Francis. I imagine it drives him crazy. I imagine it makes Francis look around and go, where's my respect? What do I have to do? There's nothing you can do if you're Francis. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You got the championship of the world. Don't worry about a damn thing. But when the people start doing that, instead of taking that as a negative, just know, business-wise, it's the best thing you can have. And it's a very peculiar spot. Henry Cejudo's in an interesting spot. Ali Abdelaziz, manager extraordinaire, Henry's manager, came out and told the media, and I believe it was through TMZ, said, I guarantee you Henry Cejudo returns in 2022. Now, Ali's very good at what he does. Because what did Ali do there? Not a whole lot. And if Ali would have, who, what, when, why, and where, okay, great. You're going to get one. That's called a press release. Do you know how many press releases go out for an event? One. Because Ali left out all of the W's. The who, what, the when, the why, the where. Because he left it out, now there's a hot topic. What does that look like if Henry comes back? We would need a clue right out of the gate, which is what weight class? And we're down to two. We're down to 35 and 45. People love to pretend that 25 is also in there. No, it's not. But I haven't really helped much either. Add 25, you got three weight class. I got us down to two, but it's very relevant because if Henry's coming back, he's coming back for the belt. And there's no assurances that he can walk right into it, including having a little elbow and a wink from Dana. Dana has not done that. My guess is that Henry can't do it. I believe at 145 pounds, by the time Henry returns, we're going to have a little bit of stability in the pecking order. I think the Gigas of the world, the insertion of Dan Hooker, what is Max going to do? Is Volkanovski taking on Max? I just think they're going to have that a little bit more worked out. It's a little bit up in the air. We got some real musical chairs, but we got some very good players that have matches lined up that are going to give us a little bit of clarity. Okay, fine. I'm making a prediction for you. I just don't know that allows Henry to skip that line. Henry, I think, is going to have a contenders match first. He could have as many as 2 matches. That's okay. That's all we're discussing right now. What does the return look like? Do you guys agree with me? Is it most likely to be at 45? Is the return of Henry Cejudo all about the champ? It's a tough guess. So there's a lot of work to do at 135. I could tell a wonderful story for Henry at 145. I could tell just as good of a story at 135. They got 2 champions down there right now. The division's a mess. When you hear me say a division is a mess, I am complimenting that division. You don't want clarity. It's the last thing you want. You don't want to know who's where. There has to be an argument over who's where. There's to be an argument over pecking order that can't be settled in the media, can't be settled in the rankings room, has to be settled in the octagon. It has to be a mess. If you're coming back into something and you're looking to have some fun, you want to get into the biggest storm that you can. 45 and 35 are both a mess. So Henry could have a lot of fun. Henry could manipulate it. Now he's got his great manager who's coming out doing a great job creating talks because he told us nothing, which was brilliant by Ali. And now I'm wondering, what does that look like? And Henry is in there working his ass off. I saw a clip over the weekend. Jon Jones working out with Jaden Cox, but Henry was there. Henry was off camera, yelling instructions, helping to line that. Henry's in the room. Every time I look, Henry's in the room. Helpway Lee was in the room. I saw Henry about 6 weeks ago. He looked fantastic. He looked like a guy who's getting ready to come back and try to win a world championship. So I do feel that Ali is very much telling the truth. He is not trolling. He is not just looking for some fun. I believe he's making an announcement. Henry Cejudo's coming back. That's big news. That's good news. The question is, to start with, what weight class? And for Henry to achieve his goal, which is to get back to a world, Henry didn't know any other life. Henry does not know anything about any other life of just being one of the guys. He's got to be champion. So understanding that Henry's return is contingent on a path to a championship, what does that path look like?